Dear students, so in the last class we have seen something about the mineral nutrition and we have seen something about the role of minerals and we have seen some minerals roles, and over here we are going to continue the same topic. We are going to start with the iron. Iron will be observed as a ferric or ferrous ions by the roots of the plants, and compared to other nutrients, compared to other micro minerals for the plants, the ferrous or ferric ions are the large, they are required in large amounts for the plant. Okay, so what may be the role of the particular ion? So over here they participates in the electron transport chain. They are the part of the electron transport proteins, for example the ferrotoxin and cytochromes. Okay, so without the particular ion compound, without the particular structure, that cytochromes and ferrotoxin cannot function as a functioning proteins. Okay, so as I told you, they are part of the electron transport proteins, so they are the most important micro elements of any plant. And as I told you, they are involved in the redox reactions. What are redox reactions? As I told you, redox means oxidation reduction reactions. Over here there are some oxidation reduction reactions will be participated in presence of or by means of the particular ion elements. And apart from that, they are going to participate in the activation of enzymes called catalase. The activation of catalase is very important for the functioning of the chlorophylls, the pigments involved in the chloroplast or the photosynthesis process. So over here the activation of enzyme catalase is by means of the involvement of the mineral ion. And now we are going to see the next element over here, the manganese. Again it will be observed as the Mn2 plus ion over here. It will activate the enzymes of photosynthesis, respiration and the nitrogen metabolism. Enzymes involved in the nitrogen metabolism. Apart from this, they are also involved in the splitting of water during the photosynthesis. We are going to see the photosynthesis details later. The point you have to remember over here, one of the major mineral involved in the splitting of water during the photosynthesis process, so that it will release the oxygen from the water. Okay, so the splitting can release the oxygen, molecular oxygen from the water by means of the involvement of the mineral manganese. And now we are going to see the next element over here, the zinc, and again it will be observed as Zn2 plus ion over here, and it will be involved in the activation of enzymes called carboxylase. And apart from the activation of enzyme, they are the major component of the synthesis of the plant hormone auxins. We are going to see the details of auxins later. The point you have to remember over here, the zinc involved in the synthesis of auxins. And the next element we are going to see the copper. Copper is one of the major micronutrient involved in the each and every metabolism of the particular plant cell, involved in overall metabolism of the plant cells. Again, like iron, they are also going to involved in the redox reaction, oxidation reduction reactions. They are also being oxidized or reduced in the form of participation in the redox reactions over here. And the next element we are going to see over here, the borons. Borons also will be observed as ions, BO3 3 minus ions or B4O7 2 minus ions over here. They are participating in the uptake and utilization of calcium. Okay, so here you have to remember one thing, the calcium utilization. The calcium is a somewhat different mineral. The calcium utilization and uptake will be depend on the presence of the boron element over here. Okay, and so that they are participating in the functioning, or they are going to participate along with the calcium in the membrane functioning, pollen germination, carbohydrate translocation from one place to another place, cell elongation and cell differentiation. Okay, all these functions will be participated by the calcium ion concentration within the particular cell, and the calcium utilization is by means of the boron availability. So the boron's function will affect, or boron's presence will affect the functions of, or these functions in the plant cell. And the next element we are going to see the chloride, the chlorine, and it will be observed as chloride ion, Cl minus ions in the particular plant. They are the major component of the osmotic balance. As I told you, they are going to participate in the anion cation balance in the cell. So we have seen sodium and sodium, potassium ions, they are going to participate in the anion cation balance of any plant cell like sodium and potassium. Chlorine also gonna involved in the anion cation balance of the particular plant cell. Apart from the osmotic balance, they are also involved in the water splitting, as we have seen in the manganese. Here also they are gonna involved in the splitting of water so that it will release lots of oxygen during the particular photosynthesis. And finally we are going to see the molybdenum. Molybdenum also going to be observed as ions over here. They are one of the major mineral involved in the nitrogen metabolism of any plant. So in case of nitrogen metabolism, they are going to involve or they are going to activate the enzymes nitrogenous and nitroreductase. Today we are going to see the details of those enzymes and their participation and how they are going to maintain the how they are going to cycle the particular nitrogen in the atmosphere and the environment. The point you have to remember over here, the molybdenum is one of the structural compound of these nitrogenous and nitrate reductase, so that they are involved in the nitrogen metabolism. And now we are going to enter into the next topic over here in case of minerals, the mineral deficiency. And now we are going to see the deficiency symptoms caused by the particular minerals deficiency in the plant cells or the plant system. And we should know something about the critical concentration. So what may be the critical concentration? So critical concentration over here, for every mineral in a particular plant, okay, you must remember one thing, the concentration required by the plant is plant specific or species specific. It is species specific, okay. The requirement will vary based on the species of the particular plant, okay. So the point you have to remember over here, the concentration required, the critical concentration, okay, that is the concentration required by the particular plant species for the optimal activity or for optimal nutritional level in the particular plant, okay. So over here, the critical concentration, so when it is beyond or when it is below the particular required concentration, it will act as a, or it will show the deficiency syndromes or symptoms in the particular plant system. Okay, that is what we are going to see in the deficiency symptom. In the next topic, we are going to see when their limit will exceeds the required limit, that is the toxicity caused by the presence of the minerals. Okay, and now we are going to see the deficiency, that is when they are present in the below concentration than the required amount. So the first symptom, the major symptom shown by the particular deficiency over here, the chlorosis. So what is chlorosis? Chlorosis, so refers to the lack or absence of, the complete absence of the chlorophylls in the chloroplast. Okay, that will affect the photosynthesis of the particular photosynthetic plant. So that is what called the chlorosis. The chlorosis will be, or it is being caused by the deficiency of these minerals: nitrogen, potassium, magnesium, sulfur, iron, manganese. Okay, and the deficiency of any of these mineral will leads to the formation of the deficiency symptom chlorosis in the plants. And the next major symptom over here we can easily observe. Okay, morphologically we can easily note down over here, mottling. Okay, mottling refers to the patches of appearance in the green and the non-green appearance of the patches like appearances in the plant system, especially in the leaves and the stem. You can see the appearance, that is what called the mottling. Okay, this is also caused by the deficiency of the most of the minerals. And the necrosis. Necrosis means whenever you are seeing the term necrosis in any system, any biological system, it may be a animal tissue system or it may be a plant tissue system, necrosis always refers to death of something. Okay, over here. So over here, death of the plant tissue, sudden death. Okay, necrosis always refers to sudden death. So necrosis, the death of plant tissues, the stunned growth. Okay, so that is being caused by the deficiency of some minerals, especially calcium, magnesium, copper and potassium. Okay, these minerals, the deficiency of these minerals will leads to the stunned plant growth, and again, as I told you, leads to death of the particular plant tissues. And again, inhibition of cell division. Okay, there will be no division or multiplication of cells will be happen when the deficiency of these minerals, nitrogen, potassium, sulfur and molybdenum. Okay, and the deficiency of these minerals leads to in the inhibition of the particular cell division. And abscission. So abscission is a symptom caused by the premature fall of the flowers, leaves and fruits. Okay, this is also caused by the deficiency of most of the minerals. And hot rot. Hot rot refers to the internal part of the particular plant system will be very soft or rotting. Okay, we are calling that symptom as rotting of the internal tissues, and the externally they will be form the cracks. Okay, the external cracks you can observe in the particular symptom. And dieback. Dieback refers to the affection in the root apex. Okay, the killing of root apex. Root apex means the tip of the root. The killing of the root apex is called the symptom called dieback. Okay, and these are all the major deficiency symptoms associated with the mineral deficiency. And now we are going to move to the next area over here, the mineral toxicity. As I told you, always the minerals required an optimum concentration. Okay, so when the concentration coming below the required concentration, it will cause the deficiency syndrome. When the concentration, when going beyond the particular required concentration or optimum concentration, it will cause the toxicity to the particular plant. And when are we going to call this as toxic concentration? Okay, so as I told you, if the presence of the particular mineral causes the loss of 10% of, or it will, if it is reducing, if it is going to reduce the dry weight percentage, dry weight of the particular plant to below 10% means that concentration gonna see or gonna called as toxic concentration. If the particular concentration of minerals gonna reduce the dry weight by 10%, we are gonna call the particular concentration of the particular mineral as toxic concentration. As I told you, toxic concentration is also plant specific and species specific. For some plants, particular concentration, for example, 600 milligram may be toxic for some plants, and for some other plants it may be 1000 or 1200 milligram. Okay, the point you have to remember over here, the concentration, the toxic concentration is also plant specific and species specific. Okay, and we are going to see one example over here, the toxicity caused by the manganese. So as I told you, over here there may be some symptoms you are going to see the toxicity caused by the minerals. The symptoms may be, or the reasons beyond the particular toxicity. The first thing, it may be caused by the excess of the particular minerals. Okay, excess of the particular minerals, or it may be caused by the excess, the presence of the particular excess mineral will interferes with the other minerals accumulation in the particular plant. Okay, there are two reasons for the particular toxicity caused by the particular minerals. The first reason is the presence of the excess minerals itself, they are going to interfere with the metabolism. They are going to show the toxicity and symptoms in the plant. Otherwise, the second reason over here, the presence of the particular excess minerals going to interfere with other minerals so that it will affect the plant's normal metabolism. So in this area, in the second point, you are going to see the deficiency of the some other minerals. As I told you, because the excess presence of the particular mineral going to interfere with the accumulation of some other minerals, so that you are going to see the deficiency of those second minerals. So that is what we are going to see in the example over here, the manganese toxicity. So over here, the presence of the excess amount of manganese. Okay, so you can see the reduction of the ions, the reduction of the ions of Fe plus or Fe ions and magnesium ions. Okay, so the point you have to remove over here, the presence of the excess concentration of manganese will reduces the uptake of these two ions by the roots of the particular plant, and again it will inhibit the binding of the magnesium to enzymes. As I told you, the point you have to remove over here, it will involved in the, or it is gonna interferes with the ion and the magnesium uptake and interferes with the binding of the particular magnesium to the enzymes. so that it will automatically inhibit the normal functions of the iron and magnesium over here. Again, the third point over here you have to note down over here, the inhibition of calcium translocation into the shoot apex. Shoot apex means the tip of the shoot. Okay, so while the manganese is present in excess concentration, normally you will observe the symptoms of the deficiency symptoms of iron and magnesium and calcium. Why? As I told you, the presence of excess of manganese will interfere with the uptake and the normal functioning of these three ions, so that in the particular plant you will observe the deficiency symptoms of these three ions. Okay, so the point you have to remember over here, the deficiency of these minerals over here does not mean the absence of these three minerals. It means the presence of the excess of manganese in the particular soil. Okay, this is what you have to remember about the toxicity over here. And now we are going to see the something about the transport of the particular minerals into the plant system. Transport. So in the last unit also we have seen something about the transport of something about the plant system. So that is why we have seen something about the water translocation, the involvement of xylem and phloem. So over here we are going to summarize the thing, the movement of or the translocation of minerals by means of the roots to the entire plant system, entire or various parts of the particular plant. So transport of particular minerals. So as we have seen in the last topic, in the water transport, here also the transport of the particular minerals is by means of or through the water environment, through the water. Okay, it is gonna mixed with the water and it is gonna transport as sap through the xylem, through the all parts of the particular plant. Okay, so the point you have to remember over here, we are going to transport minerals is in the form of ions. As I told you, almost all the minerals except the carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, over here we are going to transport each and every mineral in the form of ions of the particular mineral. So as I told you, ions means nothing but the charged molecules. So charged molecules means they need something or they cannot be transported as such into the particular cell membrane. So as I told you, any plant system is made up of two layers. The outermost layer is called the cell wall, the inner layer is called cell membrane. Okay, so you have to remember one thing, the cell wall is completely permeable. It will allow anything in and out of the particular cell wall. But cell membrane is a semi-permeable, selectively permeable. It will not allow the charged molecule as such to into the particular cytoplasm. Okay, so as I told you, all the minerals are in the form of ions, so it cannot pass through that much easily into the particular cell membrane. So in the last class we have seen something about the apoplast and symplast. So what is apoplast and what is symplast? Apoplast is movement of the particular water through the cell wall, okay, from one cell to another cell and up to the xylem. Okay, it is going to reach the particular xylem from the root tip, from the particular dermis, epidermis, cortex, then to the endodermis, then to the particular xylem tissue. From the xylem it is going to transport to the other part of the particular plant. So apoplast, you have to remember, apoplast is by means of the cell wall transport, symplast is by means of the cell membrane and cytoplasm. So the point you have to remember over here, in case of symplast, the transport required to cross the barrier of the particular cell membrane. Okay, so as I told you, cell wall is completely permeable, so that you no need to provide energy to transport through the cell wall of the particular minerals. Okay, as I told you, though they are charged, they will not be inhibited. The entry will not be inhibited in the cell wall, so that it can easily enter into the cell wall. Through the cell wall by means of apoplast, it can transfer from one cell to another cells up to particular xylem. But the point you have to remember here, the difference between these two, apoplast and symplast, as I told you, apoplast will not be inhibited by the cell wall, So they don't need the energy to transport. So the transport is by means of passive transport. But as I told you, in case of simplest transport through the cell membrane and through the cytoplasm, cell membrane, as I told you, it is made up of lipid bilayer, made up of lipid components. They are hydrophobic and hydrophilic nature. They will not allow or pass through the particular charged molecules through the cell membrane. So the transport of the particular ions need specific proteins embedded in the cell membrane to transport in and out of the particular cell. This is what you have to remember. And again, apart from the transport proteins, they need energy to transport. Without energy, the transport of ions through the cell membrane and through the cytoplasm will not be possible. Okay, so the simplest is a active transport. This is what you have to remember. The difference between the simplest and apoplast in case of the mineral transport. The minerals will be transported to the cytoplasm by means of apoplast and simplast. Apoplast means through the cell wall by means of passive transport. Simplast means through the cell membrane and the cytoplasm by active transport by utilization of energy over here. Both the means, okay, by means of apoplast and the simplast, they are going to enter into the xylem. From the xylem, it is going to transport it to all the parts of the particular plant to deliver the particular minerals. Okay, so this is what you have to remember, something about the transport of minerals. And now we are going to see something about the nitrogen metabolism happens in any plant. And now we are going to see the topic, the nitrogen nutrition in the plants. So nitrogen normally available in a gaseous form in the atmosphere, and the plant system, they cannot directly utilize the gas from the atmosphere. So it is depends on the nitrogen ions present in the particular soil and the ionic form, nitrate, nitrite, ammonium. Okay, so that will be absorbed from the soil by means of the root hairs in the form of these ions of the particular nitrogen. The point you have to remember over here, the atmospheric nitrogen to be fixed or to be fixed to the particular soil. Okay, then only it will be absorbed by the particular plant system by means of the root hairs. Okay, so as I told you, it cannot directly absorb or it cannot directly utilize the gaseous form of nitrogen. It has to be fixed to the particular soil. Then only the particular plant can utilize the particular nitrogen ions. So that process is called nitrogen fixation. So what is nitrogen fixation? Over here, the fixing of or the deposition of the particular nitrogen from the atmosphere to the soil. And there are two major things or two processes you have to remember over here, major process, biological fixation and abiological fixation. Abiological means a very limited fixation over here by means of the thundering and by means of thundering and lightning effects, or lightning may cause the deposition of the particular nitrogen to soil. But apart from the abiological means, the major source over here, the nitrogen fixing, or the biological means. Okay, so biological means that may be because of the bacteria or cyanobacteria. There are so many bacteria and cyanobacteria involved in the nitrogen fixation. The major bacteria we are going to see, the acetobacter and Bacillus. In case of cyanobacteria, all the BGAs, blue-green algae involved in the nitrogen fixing over here. For example, Anabina and Nostoc. They are going to involved in the fixing of the atmospheric nitrogen to the soil for the plants. And now we are going to see some details of the symbiosis between the bacteria and plant system. Symbiotic nitrogen fixation. So what do you mean by symbiosis? Both the host and the parasite gonna benefit from each other. Okay, so over here the rhizobium and plant. So that is why we are calling this as symbiosis or symbiotic nitrogen fixation. So over here this rhizobium bacteria gonna fix the nitrogen for the plant, and this bacteria gonna utilize nutrients from the plant for the growth of the particular bacteria. Okay, so this relationship we are gonna see in the environmental factor as symbiosis. Okay, so symbiotic nitrogen fixation, the rhizobium in root nodules. In some type of plants you can see the root, and in the root hairs you can see the nodules like this. In the root hairs you can see the numerous hundreds of thousands of nodules like this, and the root nodules are nothing but the products of the particular bacteria. For example, in case of over here rhizobium. So how the particular nodule gonna form? So over here the bacteria, as I told you, the rhizobium, for example, over here they are going to produce some factors called knot factors. Okay, so you have to remember one thing, all these things happen in a soil environment. The soil environment, it is being filled with some specific nitrogen fixing bacteria. For example, over here rhizobium, the rhizobium gonna infect the particular root hair. It is gonna called as infect, because it is gonna cause the infection over here. It is gonna infect the particular root hair, and the infection leads to the releasing of the some factors called the knot factors. Okay, so knot factors will cause the curling of the particular root hair. For example, if this is a root hair, it is going to form the curling. Okay, these are all the bacteria in the surrounding. It is going to form the curling of the particular root hair. Okay, and it is going to lead to the degeneration of the cell walls present in the particular system. Okay, it is going to degenerate the cell wall of the particular system, so that the infection gonna leads to, or it will enter into the system, apart from the cell wall, it is going to enter into the cytoplasm, and it is going to transfer to the nearby cells of the particular tissue. Okay, so the infection going to leads to all the parts of the particular tissue, and it is going to form the, or it is going to leads to the formation of the infection thread. It is going to leads to all part of the particular tissue, and finally it is going to form the curling, will form the nodule like this. It is going to form a knot like structure. That is what we are going to see as nodules. Okay, the nodules are nothing but formed by the structures formed by the particular rhizobium over here. Okay, so the formation of nodules. So normally we are going to call these bacteria, the bacteria present in the particular nodules, as bacteroids. Bacteroids, their shape will be differs from the normal rhizobium. This is what you have to remember. So these bacteria gonna produce some pigments, and pigments with the help of the particular host membrane. Within the host membrane, that means the bacteroids is being surrounded by the host membrane, that is the cell membrane. They are going to form the group of cells within the particular bacteroid system, and they are going to produce some pigments, and that pigment is called like hemoglobin. What may be the role of the particular like hemoglobin? Like hemoglobin, they are going to activate as a, or they are going to function as a oxygen scavenger. Scavenging means you are going to selectively, or you are going to voraciously, you are going to search something, or you are going to hold something. Oxygen scavengers means they are going to catch and hold the oxygen from the surrounding environment. What may be the need for the oxygen scavenging over here? Because the enzyme, as I told you, the nitrogenous enzyme, the major enzyme involved in the particular nitrogen metabolism, the nitrogenase is a anaerobic enzyme. They need anaerobic environment to function as a normal enzyme. So the presence of oxygen will inhibit the function of the normal nitrogenase activity. So the oxygen presence will be removed by the like hemoglobin. The like hemoglobin is being produced by the bacteroids. Okay, the bacteroids is nothing but the modified morphological form of particular rhizobium. The rhizobium present in the nodules, and the nodules is being produced by the infection caused by the particular rhizobium. The point you have to remember over here, they are in a symbiotic association with the plants. That means the presence of nodules gonna fix the nitrogen, and they are gonna, the fixed nitrogen gonna utilized by the plants, and from the host, from the plants, the rhizobium gonna absorb the nutrients for the particular bacteria. This is what you have to remember, the basics of the particular nitrogen nutrition. In the next class we are going to discuss the questions from the transport of water and other minerals to the plants, and the patterns of questions we can expect for the NEET exam.